Hello, Alewa. It's so nice to be back on this channel. It's a pleasure to also have you back on. If you're by any chance stumble on this channel, it's a pleasure to have you. And I want you to please subscribe to this channel and please share, because this can be of help to anybody, whether male, female, young people. But today I'm going to be talking to our husbands, our male, our partners. So if you come across this video, or those of you that are my subscribers, please share. This will help. So today we're going to be talking about men receiving help from their spouses. Yeah, if you are a man out there and your wife has tried to step in sometimes to help you, and out of ego you feel like own show off me. Now let me come in and tell you something. Usually in our setting as Africans, there are we don't discuss so many things before we go into marriage or relationship, then going into marriage. We just man meets girl, girl meets boy, and we just marry being. And there are some fundamental things that should be discussed before marriage. And I say it to people that I've had one discussion or the other with, that the only reason why we have the rate of divorce that we have right now is because we don't discuss fundamental issues before couple get married. We just say love. Most of the podcasts that I've done in time past, I've said it, that marriage is beyond love. There are so many things that actually hold up a marriage that is beyond love. Yeah, love, but so many facts, so many things that are important in marriage more than love. And today, like I said, I'm going to be talking about taking help. You as a man taking help from your wife does not reduce you or make you less of a man. So if you actually stumble on this podcast, I want you to pay attention to what I'm going to say, and it's really going to be helpful to you in your marriage or relationship. And I'm not saying that men should be complacent. Then you expect that your wife should be the breadwinner. No. Men are the head, and you are supposed to be a provider. But at the same time, when proverb describe a virtuous woman, it clearly states what the duty of a woman should be in the family, how supportive a woman should be. But in recent time, because I have said it on this channel, most of the things I discuss on this channel are either things that I've seen or past experience that I personally have had. And this is something that I've actually experienced myself. And you're trying to step in when your husband can't meet up, and it becomes like a challenge, like feel like an insult to some men. If you're out there and you find yourself as a man in this situation, it's okay to receive help from your wife. It is okay. If you make it seem like a big deal, or you allow your ego to be bruised, or you now begin to speak own shakoni, owó ti wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, ó ń fẹ́ máa bùgá sí mi, kíní kan, then you are actually trying to suppress what God has created a woman for. A woman is supposed to be an helper. I will continue to say it. A woman is an helper. A helpmeet to the spouse. So it is not a big deal if you can do some things or pay some bills, or step in, and your wife actually step into that situation and do it. Now, it is so easy for a man's ego to be bruised, And in my next podcast, I'm going to talk about how we can actually, kind of, feel into that role and not make a man ego feel bruised. You don't have to show off as a woman pé èmi ni mò ń ṣe gbá, èmi ni mò ń ṣe àwo, èmi ni mò ń gbọ́ bùkátà, èmi ni mò ń gbé bùkátà, because that's your duty anyway as a woman. If you are a woman, you are married, and there's nothing that you are contributing into that relationship, you are not making your husband's, a difference in his life, then you are not fulfilling your purpose as a woman. You are not fulfilling your purpose as a woman. Let me tell you, if your now this goes to the man, if there is a need, it's okay. Even if your wife earns more than you, it's okay. It's no big deal, because that's why God has positioned her. The Bible says, he who finds a good wife finds a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. When God says the man obtain favor, finding a good wife, means that you have a favor. You have favor sitting right beside you. That woman should be a blessing to you, not a curse. So if you want to pay for, school fees for your children, and you cannot afford it, I'm not talking about men that are complacent. Àwọn ọkùnrin tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́, tí wọ́n fẹ́ gbọ́ bùkátà, àwọn abímọ má tọ́. No, I'm not talking about those men. I'm talking about hardworking men, providers. But at some point, you are not able to do it, or your wife feel that, let me step in and help him. Don't allow your ego to be bruised. It's okay to take help from your wife. It's actually okay, because that's the purpose which God has created her. So if you allow your ego to be bruised and you don't, give her the opportunity to fulfill the purpose which God has created her for, then you are actually, it's like you having a battle with God. Big battle, because I have experienced firsthand, when I remember back in the days when I tried to, step into some situations, and then my husband feel like I won't show off. No, it's not show off. It's not. It's me trying to fulfill God's purpose, the purpose which God has positioned me in that man's life, the purpose which God has created me. And I've heard a lot of stories, that actually cause a divorce in so many families, which I think should not be. Don't allow your ego to stand in your way of allowing your wife to fulfill their purpose in your life. It's okay to receive help. What is not okay is to the women now is that when you now give help, or bóyá kò sí nílé, o ṣe, or step in, or fáwọn ẹbí ọkọ ẹ lówó, then you are now trying to kogaru, showing off that you are the one. That is when it becomes not okay. But if God has blessed you with a good woman who will stand by, who is standing by you, who is showing up for you, who is making sure that àṣírí ẹ ò tú can, it's okay for your wife to buy you clothes. There's absolutely nothing bad in it, because every man, every woman, or every man has a vision of how they want their spouses to be. So if your wife decides to make you clothes, not because if you as a man refuse, or you are allowing your ego to be bruised, you are simply narcissistic. That is what that action portrays you to be. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It says one shall become two. One shall become two. So when the Bible says one shall become two, and you now have a wife, and that woman is, stepping up for you when you can, so that àṣírí ò ní tú. When a woman is don't dash àṣírí boy, you should be happy. You should feel blessed, because that's her fulfilling God's purpose in that relation, in that marriage. That's her fulfilling the purpose which God has created her. So if you stumble on this podcast, I want you as a man to embrace receiving with joy every help that your wife gives to you. It's a blessing. It's not a curse. When it becomes a curse is when you as a man don't want to walk. When you feel that you just have to be laid back, then that means it's the other way around. You as a man also, you are not fulfilling what God has created you to be, a provider. But if you are the one that provide, and for any reason at any point your wife needs to step in for you, embrace it. Embrace it. That is you allowing her to fulfill God's purpose. That is why God created her. Don't make it seem like show up, show off, fẹ́ máa ṣe bí ọkọ lórí mi, fẹ́ máa ṣe bí ọkọ, fẹ́ máa ṣe bí ọkọ. Will you prefer to have a wife who is not supportive? Tó máa tú díẹ̀ síta tó bá fowó ọbẹ̀ sílẹ̀ tó máa pèrò lé ẹ lórí, tí wọ́n máa fẹjọ́ ẹ̀sùn káàkiri, tí wọ́n máa rojú ẹ̀ káàkiri. I want you as men, if you stumble on this podcast, appreciate what God has given to you. Appreciate every woman that God has positioned in your life that is trying to fulfill God's purpose for their life. Because most of the reason why there are so many tí wàhálà fi ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin ọkọ àti ìyàwó are things that are unspoken, things that you can't even express it, because you as a man, wọ́n máa bí ẹ́ pé kí ni ìyàwó ẹ̀ ṣe fún ẹ ò ní lè sọ. And in Yoruba, if you are not careful, wọ́n á kà sí lára. Like I said earlier, it's okay if your wife is making more money than you, what's the big deal? The money still comes to the family. Àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ náà, àwọn ọmọ tẹ́ bá bí náà jọ ni owó yẹn ló máa benefit. Unless tó bá jóbìnrin burúkú, which my next podcast is going to be talking to women who actually, tán feel wípé bóyá torí pé ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó fọ́kọ mi, wàá máa bùgá, wàá máa pàṣẹ, wàá máa ṣe gbá, wàá máa ṣàwo. That's not God who God created us as women to be. We are meant to be helpmates, supporters. So for you as a man, if you are watching this podcast, change your mindset. Remember when you took that vow and said, for better or for worse, two shall become one, and a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. So if you are cleaving to this wife now, and for whatever reason she's stepping in, you see, there are so many things, little things that a woman can do that sometimes men that are not enlightened don't feel with pé ó fẹ́ máa show off ni, ó fẹ́ máa show off ni, ó fẹ́ máa show off ni. They would now take it as an offense. Amatori ẹ̀ máa ṣe gbọ́nkúgbọ́nkúnlé, which should not be. Your wife don't even need your permission to change the curtains in the house. Go and read Proverbs 31 from 10 downward. That is what God has created her to do. That is the role of a wife, to support. Please, if you stumble on this podcast, give every woman in your life to fulfill what God has created them to be. They are not providers, but they are helpmates. They are supporters. So if you have a wife, a woman in your life that is supporting you, that is fulfilling God's purpose in her life, appreciate them. Don't push them away. Because sometimes you don't value what you have until you lose it. That's the simple principle of life. You don't value what you have until you lose it. Until you taste the other side, that is when you now value what you have. So my advice to you men out there, appreciate the good women in your life who are helpmates, who you don't have to beg before they help you, who you don't have to beg. You don't have to solicit them before they pick up bills around the house. Don't feel threatened. There's nothing, absolutely nothing for you to feel threatened about. That is God, the reason why God created us as women. So I want to employ you as men out there. If you stumble on this podcast, or they share it to you, change that mindset that you have. Ẹgbéra yín kúrò ní àkákọ́s àwọn ọkùnrin onígbéraga who because of their pride, they've pushed away good women out of their life. They can't receive help because wọ́n ní lára, because tí Yorùbá máa pè nìyẹn. Kémi gbé, kíwọ gbé, kẹ́rù ṣáà ti dórí ni. It doesn't matter who is carrying it. May God help us in Jesus' mighty name. Till I come your way next time, my name remains Ajoke Ade. And please, kindly share this video and subscribe to it. God bless you all. Thank you. And have a nice day. Love you.